Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a donation deck list for a user who wanted to see some green-black depths because we have been playing a little bit of Rainbow online. I see people like Wiltron doing really well with it, so I thought I would put together a list for green-black turbo depths and see how it goes in the current meta. This list is pretty straightforward. A lot of the main deck is just built to go towards the combo with a bit of interaction in the sideboard, but we're not playing anything in the main deck like Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy. Witherbloom Command is really interesting that I've seen a few people play around with. I was also leaning towards an Urza's Saga build, which we've done in the past, because it gives the deck a bit of a plan B. But I think then, once you start getting in the territory of having a plan B, there's big questions, especially competitively, about like, why aren't you just playing something like Naya Depths? I think it's a lot better, potentially just to build a straight turbo list that, you know, if you can't go turbo, then you just have to say, that's life, that's what happens. So I really like that, kind of putting everything into the deck, hopefully doing well at its sort of one goal. And if it doesn't get there, it doesn't get there. But I think the deck has a lot of play to it, and yeah, it should be pretty cool. A few cards that I don't want to play against. Opposition Agent is really good. That's probably one of the key cards Dismember is for. The same with Magus of the Moon. Two cards that are harder to interact with. Sudden Edict's also quite nice, but a deck like Mono Red Stompy could of course have other creatures out. Even Mono Black Depths or something else could have something like a Dark Confidant or a Construct token. So yeah, wanting a little bit of play there. But that's pretty much it. Pretty keen to see how this goes. It's got a small tutoring package. I play the Tower in the sideboard as well, as just a nice way to get through things like Thopter tokens. It can buy us time against a deck like Death and Taxes, of course, with Caldra and other equipment style decks. So yeah, pretty keen to see how this goes. It's been pretty fun to play around with. And it's a nice quick deck as well. It's pretty late here, but I thought we would at least get a league in tonight. So we were playing a Legacy League with Turbo. Nice. Hey Joe. Yeah, I really enjoyed the deck as well. I think it's pretty sweet. I think it's a great deck to really understand sequencing with. It's a pretty fast deck as well, which is nice. Hey, Robert's your mother's brother. Welcome. Hope you're well. It's just, yeah, really cool deck. It has a really good mulligan as well. Like I was sharing with Wiltron before, a pretty sweet mulligan to 4, which was... let me find it quickly. Yeah, I mean, like, this was the 4. So it's turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 combo, go. Like, that's exactly what the deck wants. And I've said this a lot. I said that the bread and butter of an opening hand is typically Urborg, Dark Depths, Hexmage as the big 3, and then anything on top is just gravy. So a hand like that is really strong. And like, speaking of, this is a pretty nice hand in the blind. We have turn 1 Needle Name Wasteland, turn 2 Dark Depths of Hexmage, Crop Rotation if we really need it, which is kind of cool, even as like a backup. So pretty happy to keep this. Hey Master G, a huge thank you for the resub. Too kind. I hope you're well. How do I want to start this out? It's probably Urborg. Well, they're going to start with it once. So give us a little bit of information first. This is actually pretty interesting, because if they find an elf, I'm going to name Beseju, but if they find something more landsy, I'll definitely name Wasteland. They name Glimmerpost. That makes me want to name Caracas. Typically, Glimmerpost deck will have Caracas in the deck. They can, of course, stage our own Dark Depths, but it's going to take a while for that. So I think Caracas is probably just the best take here, which is, yeah, really interesting. They were obviously trying to play around Daze there by doing it in my upkeep. And I guess Force Negation to some extent in the blind. But this might be a tough one for them. Especially with Caracas name. Typically Post doesn't play something like Wasteland. Yeah, and it's just a concession from them, so you can definitely see how powerful the deck is, especially with the information from once there. Pretty key. Cloud Post. Cloud Post, Cloud Post, Cloud Post. So typically interactive cards are things like Elvish Reclaimer. Glimmer Post gets them above the 20 life threshold. Caracas is obviously pretty big. They probably bring in Force of Vigor to deal with Pithing Needles. Typically you'll see about 4 or 5 cards within a Cloud Post sideboard. If you look at something like Interplays decks, you're looking at Carpet of Flowers, Mindbreak Trap, Endurance, and Force of Vigor, and maybe another land potentially for crop rotation effects. But I think that I do want the Knot of This Worlds because that's a great way to answer Caracas. Same with Needle. Even naming opposing Elvish Reclaimers isn't too bad. We can definitely take out the Bog. I think we can take out the Caracas just because they do play Eldrazi, but at the same time, I'm probably going to be hopefully winning before they get Eldrazi online. I don't mind the Force of Vigors to play around their Needle effects. I don't think I want the Dismembers for their Reclaimers. I'd probably just rather have the Pithing Needles. So just like a small sideboard. Yeah, the once there makes me think that they were light on lands, or they wanted to play the Cloud Post tapped. So I think that hand is most likely Once Upon a Time with a turn 1 Cloud Post, which means they can't play it around days anyway, if they're wanting to play that Cloud Post. So I think that's fine. I think they probably would have rathered have hit potentially something like Yavimaya, which is a bit more general and doesn't give away what they're on. Because if you hit Yavimaya, it's most likely a Depths deck, Cloud Post potentially. I think Elves has moved away from it, but you might have some players who think it's Elves. It's probably just going to be it. Could bring in the Safekeepers. Safekeepers are interesting because they could tag in that mana or that life that Glimmer Post gets, but I think that with like Reclaimers in the deck, they're probably not getting in. I think I'm happy just bringing in the Force of Vigors, just to answer opposing Needles. This is a pretty nice hand, but it is pretty slow. I'm a pretty big advocate of mulliganing aggressively, but the thing about this hand is it's got turn 1 interaction, it's got the mana online, which is nice, and we have a lot of ways to draw into Depths. I guess we have 12 ways, potentially 14 if you count the Reclaimers. We have 4 crop rotations, 4 Sylvan Scrying, and 4 copies of Depths itself. So that's definitely interesting. This is also quite nice if our opponent starts on Needle and names either Hexmage or Stage, because we have both. But we also have the Besieger to deal with Needles, so that's kind of negligible. I think I'm happy to, even though this is like a nice hand, I think we can go faster. And this is actually it. This is a turn 2. If we go Stage and then Depths and then just go for it. I probably want to Thoughtseize though on turn 1. So I'm definitely going to keep this and bottom the Forest and then just see what we draw into. Yeah, Once Upon a Time is always a tough card to hit because it means it's kind of like a filler card in a way, but it can definitely get your opponent as well. Yeah, I've definitely gotten by days on once, just by not playing the land first. Especially when I'm looking for a threat. I don't mind Reclaimer here. We know they have Caracas, so there is a world where they play that next turn, which keeps them off from being able to actually play a Reclaimer next turn. I think I'm okay to Bayou and Thoughtseize first. Okay. So here I'm just going to take the Green Suns they are a little bit off being able to get this Titan into play and might have to use the stage to copy a forest. The question is, I think currently I'm happy to actually just put the Reclaimer into play off the Spirit Guide, because with their stage and their Caracas, I'm in no point right now to actually go off. And the Petal can be a black source if needed. Yeah, the after this match, I'll actually put the Mark Strassman piece live on YouTube, which would be cool. Okay, so they drew a Cloud Post for turn. Another fast mana would be kind of cool. Okay. So my plan is to turn this Bayou into Ghost Quarter to deal with the Caracas. So I think I just want to play the Petal out and play the Reclaimer to get more creatures into play. I could try to go full beatdown as well. Opponent's lost connection. Because this turn they can play Glimmer Post and gain 3, then the Cloud Post tap for 6. They probably want to play Stage to... Oh, I think I might actually get rid of the Bayou here so they can't copy... Oh no, because it's part of the cost to sack it. Ghost Quarter does give him a mana for Titan, that's very true. Maybe then I turn the Bayou into Depths, which means they have to play Caracas and keep it up. Unless they play Stage. No, because if they play Stage... Okay, so... if they play Stage here and pass, we drop the Bayou for Urborg, untap, play Dark Depths. In Upkeep, we can make the 2020... And if they sack it, if they try to respond by copying to make their own 2020, if we draw a land off the top, we can... Oh, it comes in tapped. I was going to say we can try to turn this Urborg into Caracas to then untap Caracas theirs and get it through, or get Sajiri Step and get it through. So definitely a few options, and it definitely is based on what we draw into. But... yeah, they're going to have to get to a position where they can tap out for prime time, but also hold up Caracas, which with 2 green sources is 3 turns away. Which is pretty good for us. Opponent's back. Yeah, this is a bit of an Elves deck, you could say. I know Newton is obviously a big fan of what's happening with Elves. I believe he's playing Aven Mind Sensor now in the main deck, which is cool to see. And I think he was playing a Magus in the sideboard, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, look at this. Honestly, we have Aven Mind Sensor. Obviously Collective's been there for a while, but like Magus in the sideboard. A lot of interesting stuff. Yeah, Mark and I played against Jarvis on a very interesting version of like modern Yawgmoth, which was a lot more into like the Young Wolf style deck, but cool to see. Like, I think Yawgmoth deserves some space in Legacy. It might just be a little bit too fair and mid-rangey in the version that it currently is, but in like a crop rotation build potentially would be pretty sweet. I think the best draw here is either a Petal or a... I want to get an Urborg for sure, because I don't want to give them green mana with Yav. Okay. So if I play Depths, they could copy it. Yeah, we could then sack, but then they can play Caracas. I think I actually just want to turn this Bayou into a Ghost Quarter. I definitely want to stifle the stage ability if they do try to copy the Bayou as a green source. But luckily we can sack the Bayou before they get to actually copy the Bayou. Oh, maybe they copy Cloudpost here. No, they don't. Okay. I think it will just be Ghost Quarter, yeah. Now, do they go with Forest? Or do they go with... I guess if they go Forest here, then this stage can copy this Forest to give them Primetime mana next turn and also Caracas, which is pretty brutal. Especially if they get more Glimmer Posts. They might even just stage right now so that I can't Ghost Quarter. Or they can't... So... Oh, this name Needle. Interesting. There's a world here where I would use stage, copy the Forest, so that I can't Ghost Quarter in response, and then just name Thespian stage with the Needle, seeing that yours is now a Forest, but they've gone with Reclaimer, which makes sense as well, but I kind of feel like, luckily, Reclaimer's done its work. Another Depths. I think the play here is definitely keeping them off double green, which means Ghost Quartering this Forest in response to the stage hitting it. But I kind of want to play the Depths out just to fill the bin with damage for Reclaimer and get there that way. So if I play stage and try to copy it, they can try to copy in response, but we have Ghost Quarter for that. But I really want to Ghost Quarter this Forest in response to them targeting it to keep them off double mana. But I don't have to get Marit, which is kind of nice. I could just Wasteland myself. Yeah, so I think here my plan is to Ghost Quarter the Forest so that they don't get two in play. However, if they get 2 and tap out for Titan next turn, then we just get to Ghost Quarter the Caracas and attack through. And then the Caracas is in the bin, so I don't think Primetime could get there. Unless Primetime gets a Glacial Chasm. That's an issue. So potentially, going through a few lines, I think that what we should do here is actually use Stage to copy Ghost Quarter, and then Ghost Quarter Forest. I think we don't care about this. I think we allow them to have the prime time, allow them to play the Caracas. Ah, but then they have the prime time. Yeah, it's really tough. This is actually a really good kind of what's the play. There's a lot of different lines. I think we just go after the forest. Definitely a tough one. I think that'll be like my next little what's the play article. There's so many things there. Especially once the prime time comes down, it's very hard to allow that to happen. Because now they can even force it by their stage copy. Interesting. Okay. Tough. What about Caracas? And I assume right now they're casting Titan. Okay. So I assume this gets potentially Vesuva and Glacial Chasm. Oh, they go for Ivugan. Huh. Not of this world would be pretty sweet. That's an extra mana. Sadly, nothing great here. I think sadly the game's just gone too far for me to be able to get there. Especially with prime time attacking here. They have Eye open. Cloud Post taps for 4 each. They're kind of at the stage nearly where they can just get Emrakul and return it with Caracas to get infinite turns. Yeah. I actually don't think we have a great out, especially with Ghost Quarter already gone. Does that change anything? I don't think I'm in the territory of like Surgical on Cloud Post. We have enough outs to Caracas. Dismember's interesting, but not hitting a Titan is pretty big. Could see Sudden Edict, but 2 mana is obviously a lot in this deck. I think I'm just going to run it back and just try to really be like turbo. Yeah, okay. This is like turn 1 Needle on Caracas. Turn 2 we can play Depths, because I don't believe they have a way to copy it on turn 2. And then turn 3 we just have Catacombs crop into Stage, which isn't too bad. These Depths are kind of lame, but like it's decent for a 5. That's the only thing, is that this is a 7 that's pretty much a 5 because these 2 Dark Depths. I could see mulliganing. Like, this doesn't have a great way to beat Glacial Chasm. I'm happy to see. I think I'm just a little bit too hesitant on this. That like these two are just the hard part. I think there's a much better 5, especially getting 2 more looks at 2 7s to get a better hand. This is actually pretty nice because it's pretty much the same, but we have Force and Elvish Spirit Guide, so we can keep this bottom of Verdant, and then we have just Hold Up Crop, Stage, Urborg, Force. A little bit slower, but not too bad. I'll just lead on the Urborg. Is it like if we draw Hexmage, I can't cast it? I guess I could have played the Verdant and got like a Bayou out of the deck. It's very true as well. If we drew another free source, we would have had a turn 2 potentially. Needle. Okay. I would assume they named Stage again. But with an Urborg start, they might name Hexmage. Yeah. Just kind of nice. I guess that's a good reason not to lead on the stage, is that it just makes it a little bit easier. Reclaim is pretty nice. Reclaim is actually very interesting because it's also the 1 damage to put them back to 20. Or at least was. Oh, actually, okay, what we can do here is play Stage. I was going to say we could go for it, but if they just have Caracas in hand, then we obviously can't. We have 13 minutes. So my kind of line was play Stage, attack. If they block, we get to combo off, which puts 3 lands in the bin, Stage, Depths, and the land we sacked to crop rotation, which then kills this Reclaimer. But then the 2020 is just open to Caracas, which we can also hold up by just playing Stage and then turning a land into Ghost Quarter. And then we also have Spirit Guides just to combo off, so I think we just pass here. And then, yeah, potentially the 1 damage doesn't hurt too much. Yeah, Cloudburst is pretty tricky. A lot of little things. Like, it's only Caracas to really play around, maybe Boseiju, but they have a lot of ways to find them. At least the Caracas comes in tapped. And even if they play Stage for turn and pass, and try to like copy Dark Depths before we can use double Spirit Guide to Reclaimer for Sajiri Step to give Pro Black and get through their 2020, which is awesome. Interesting. Oh, maybe they're holding up crop rotation. I can't really play around that anyway. Hmm. Like, I could try to draw into hand disruption, but it's not a given. And as the game goes longer, I'm just giving them more outs, even like Reclaimer for it, so I think we're just gonna... Dark Depths, Dark Depths, Dark Depths. Seiju. Not too bad. Because now we can still... go and get Dark Depths and just top deck X-Mage. And then use these two to turn the needle back off. Not too bad. Force of Vigor, Green Suns. We don't care about the Force of Vigors, the Green Suns we do. And I'm pretty happy to attack here. I'm not going to Reclaimer into another land. Also puts them back down to 20, which is nice. Currently they have 3 mana, but of course they can... Suva. Interesting. I think just because of where I am, I would have potentially used Reclaimer to get Cloudpost and then played Vesuva as a copy of Cloudpost. Beautiful. Ah, that's actually a stage, isn't it? No. Is it? Oh, they're gonna... Okay, crop. I assume for Caracas here. Another Cloudpost. Okay. So it's tough because I assume they have... Glimmerpost in the deck. But sorry, not Glimmerpost, Glacial Chasm. That's a big card because it actually affects the board even being tapped from Reclaimer. It's actually pretty good. It turns on the Reclaimer. So we can actually attack with... do I want to attack both here? No, because I want to be able to hold up Ghost Quarter. Because I assume here they go for Glacial Chasm, we go for Ghost Quarter, and then if they go for Caracas, we can Ghost Quarter it while it's still tapped. I don't have much to say about Post. I know the interplay obviously does very well when he plays it, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, interesting. They're going to just go up to 24 and then go back down to 4? We know about the 3 cards in hand. Maybe that means they don't have Glacial Chasm, and therefore just wanting to try to take the turn to draw naturally into Crop Rotation or Karakas here. Pretty tough being at 4 as well. Okay, so they're going to sack now. That's going to be fine. Yav. Okay. Prime time. Sure. It has to be like Glacial Chasm and Karakas? What else could it be? Because Ghost Quarter deals with 1, but it can't deal with both. But they didn't get Chasm before. Oh, they do have both still. Yikes. I think here we just have to hit the Karakas and hope. Ghost Quarter. Wow. Ah, of course, because we can just hit this now. Yeah, of course. I was fully playing around and just tunnel visioned into the next turn, but yeah, nice for like nice to get there and obviously know what the 2 outs were, but then yeah, Ghost Quarter here just taking out the Chasm, of course. Doesn't matter about the Karakas, they're at 4 life, so very cool to grab that one. Because yeah, I think overall Turbo Depths has a pretty solid matchup there. You have a lot of early interaction. You have a lot of ways to shut down things like Karakas. It's really when it gets to that mid to late game where Post can just get there. But I mean, the power of Reclaimer there. Yeah, pretty cool to get that one. I mean, this deck is only playing, I believe, 2 Reclaimers. I think when Tom finished up playing before he took his hiatus, he was playing 1 Reclaimer. It's just so powerful. And especially with like this style of deck, it's just obviously really nice. Even little things like getting rid of forests before your opponent can submerge, or be a little bit, you know, having those extra ways to find something like Ghost Quarter is pretty cool. The full 4 would be kind of nice, but it's really hard to get there. Once I have the full 4, it's kind of becoming more of like a mid-range deck, but yeah, like obviously I think it's still one of the best like designs they've done in the like last 5 years. Just a really like fair, powerful card that isn't too like, not every single green deck wants to play it, but if it's, you know, a lands deck, then Reclaimer makes sense. If it's an elves deck, it makes sense, but you know, you don't see it being played in something like Rug Delver or like at least the main style decks of Rug Delver. Could actually be kind of cool in Rug Delver, but I've seen cards like Hextry could be played, so nice to get up. Always nice to finish. Yeah, Cloudpost is sweet. If you're into Cloudpost, definitely check out Interplay. Tony streams a fair amount. Streams a lot of challenges, which is nice, and probably, you know, top eights, maybe like 50% of the challenges that he plays, if not more. Very skilled player, knows the ins and outs, knows the matchups. Cloudpost is also really nice because a lot of the sideboarding is pretty straightforward. In that, if you look at these sort of decks, you can see the sideboard is just like 4 carpet, 3 endurance, 4 force, 4 trap, exact same, exact same, exact same, exact same. Like, you just know what you need to beat, which is pretty awesome to see. I think that Tony's played before without Tabernacle. Okay, plays Tabernacle, plays Tabernacle, plays Tabernacle, plays Tabernacle. I do have I have a budget version of Mono Green, which plays Blast Zone in the space of Tabernacle, and then has a few walking blisters in the board, which is kind of cool. See, this is a hand where I wouldn't like doubt anyone to keep it, because it has just a lot of interaction. It has like half of each side of the combo, but I really like, if I'm on Turbo Depths, I'm just finding a way to find each piece of the combo and try to swing before turn 3. Like, I want to have it in my opening hand. And this is actually it, because we have crop. We actually have double. Wow. Okay, so this is actually a turn 2, because we can Verdant and then Thoughtseize. We can then turn 2 play Stage, use 1 mana to crop for Dark Depths, and then these 2 allow us to copy. So here I'm going to drop the Sylvan Scrying. And just hope we're against a slow deck. But like a really nice hand here. I think the only thing we could really want is like a Knot of this World, potentially. Bayou is actually quite nice. Like, it just keeps us away from something like Stifle. Pretty happy just to go with Bayou Thoughtseize. Okay. This is actually pretty interesting, because they have double Brainstorm, which means I can respond to the I can take a Brainstorm here, and then respond to the second one, which I believe they'll do on our end step once they have the mana in play. So I'm going to take 1 Brainstorm here. It just slows down the amount of outs they have as well. I assume they might have a Brazen Borrower in the main deck, but to be able to play around Wasteland is pretty huge here. They're actually just going to Brainstorm right now. Okay. Makes sense if they want to find a 1 mana threat. This is also quite nice, because now we can slow down a little bit and allow us to play Depths next turn, hold up 1 Spirit Guide for the combo, and then 1 for crop rotation for Sujiri Step if they do have some sort of bounce. Okay, so no DRC, which is kind of nice. The crop's also really nice, because it means that they can't... I could go all in here, but I think because we have the Depths and a bit of a line that's 1 turn slower with a bit more protection, I don't mind taking the turn here. And of course, something like a Knot of this World, another Petal, there's a lot of really good options here. I think I'm also happy just to make this an upkeep to play around Wasteland. They could have Murktide, try to buy a turn. Okay. That's really nice for us because they have... Oh, they haven't played a land yet, so they could dig for land into Borrower. But then we can force or daze check them with Spirit Guide into crop rotation for Sejiri Step to give pro blue. DRC, sure. So funnily enough, we can even save the Sejiri Step if their plan is to block with DRC, because we can crop rotation for Bojuka Bog to turn off the flying from DRC and keep the step in the deck for the other crop rotation if it's needed. Needle. Okay. So let's go with Catacombs. I will fetch. Let's get a forest. Crop this away. They're gonna fetch in response. Potentially Brainstorm. Oh, Sanctuary? What do they want to put on top? Brainstorm? Iteration. They feel like they're getting another turn here. I could crop again in response right now. And then just get Bog, but I have seen Chain of Vapor in some lists, so... Oh, we're gonna Fluster? Okay. That's fine. Oh wait, so how much is the Fluster here? 1, 2? Can I just pay for it here? I guess they could have days? What am I really playing around? I'm playing around them untapping and being able to Expressive Iteration into a bounce spell. Which means I would want to hold up crop rotation. It isn't the worst if I just attack, make them block. Like having the Spirit Guide plus crop means we play around days. Tough one. It's actually tough because like we could just pay for this. We really could just pay for this, but I also might be in a position where I just want to... I think we just pay for it. Because it is just 2 instances, right? We cast Crop and they cast Fluster. You do sometimes wait a turn, but I think here just because we can pay for this. But I get the logic. Okay, so they have Force as well. Oh, they put a card on top? Yikes. I guess then the crop wouldn't have resolved anyway because they had a Force as well. Like, I think the only card you keep on top is probably Borrower at this stage. Oh, they're pondering? They chose to shuffle. Wasteland's fine. Like, I can't name Petty Theft, but I will just name Wasteland. To be fair, I should have also just cast that second main in case they do have a counterspell and get some value off the DRC. This is game one, correct? Bolt me. Concede? Love it. Love it, opponent. Alright, so we're going to be playing against... Needles are fine. I don't mind dropping one needle and just keeping 2 for Wasteland, just so I definitely see it. I can take out the Caracas. I don't mind the Sudden Edicts. I don't think I want the Dismembers. I don't think Leyline is great here either. That's probably it. I mean, that is the 60 change. I could see Safekeeper coming in, seeing that they probably just play Bounce. It's usually either Brazen Burrower, sometimes Submerge, which we can play around, thankfully. I have seen Dead Gone as well. We do have Not of This World, though, so I kind of like that more. They might also think we're on Hexmage and therefore bring in something like End the Festivities, so... I think this is more than fine. Like, having the Spirit Guides and the Petals is really nice against the Daze deck. The Hand Disruption's kind of nice. This is a tough one. Because I guess we can crop Yav into Urborg down the line if we really wanted to, so... Having the Sudden Edict as well is really nice. But, again, I could see a mulligan potentially towards... Okay. Really happy to see them not start on a threat. I'd love to draw either a Spirit Guide or a Lotus Petal, so we could turn 2 around Daze. Needle. Needle's pretty nice as well. I think here I'm just going to go with... The only reason I wouldn't Yav into Needle here is if they Daze this, then Wasteland this, our mana's just gone, so... I don't mind Stage here. Stage into Needle. It's kind of like the land I care about the least, but it also puts us a little bit further ahead in terms of... the combo. I wonder if my opponent brought in Meltdown. Could name Scalding Tarn. But I would look like a fool if I played it for Scalding Tarn and then got Wastelanded. Or if they went like Threat Wasteland Pass. Nice, okay. Honestly, I don't mind just playing Yav here. But... yeah, Yav into Scrying. And then next turn play Depths, crop away the Yav for Urborg. Just to play around Submerge. But at the same time, we have Not of This World, so... I think I'm just going to try to, like, get a counterspell out of their hand. Like, if this got forced, I'd be very happy. If it got dazed, I'm not too unhappy. But if they see one piece of the combo and, you know this is most likely Dark Depths, then I could see them maybe trying to brainstorm into a counter piece here. Fluster's more than fine. Like, Fluster not hitting the Not of This World is exactly what I want. So I feel like we're in a really nice position. And the best part is that I feel like our opponent is moving towards a Murktide win, which we just have the Sudden Edict for. Especially if they haven't played a threat on turn 1 or 2. Sudden Edict in the board and Dismember, yeah. I really like Sudden Edict because it is uncounterable. And I like Dismember because it's more targeted towards things like Magus of the Moon out of Mono Red Prison that might have other creatures on board. Or even like Opposition Agent in some of the more mid-range decks. I'm going to start with Crop here. It's a little bit rough if they have counter magic, but I kind of want to Crop here into Urborg, Inquisition my opponent, and then just Dark Depths. Ah, it is? My bad. I must have just updated this a little bit differently. Fetch. If they have another Fluster, I could have played the... Dark Depths and Floated Mana, but I didn't. Which does put us in a bit of a tight spot. I think the tough with Naya is that it's a little bit mid-rangey. I didn't want to copy depths in their end step to play around like Submerge Counterspell, but I probably should have, let's be honest. Okay. So they did bring a Meltdown. Yeah. Just one little brain fart and it all falls down. Bolt. Okay. If they melt down it there, they must have... I was gonna say they must have Wasteland, because you would probably cast it the turn you want a Wasteland to stop me, like, casting a Pithing Needle this turn. And now it has to be a land off the top. So yes? Yeah, kind of. Like now they need Force Blue card. And we know they have Bolt. Oh, they have it. Okay. Fair. Definitely threw that one. Hey, Jax. No turn 1 just yet. They did bring in Meltdown, so I'm pretty happy just to run back with the same list. Yeah, I think Depth's Pass there is fine, especially seeing we have Not of This World for Submerge. And then I assume they don't have Submerge Blue Card Force. Submerge would be one of those two. But yeah, tough. But I mean, that's the house of cards. You can definitely see. You make one wrong turn, and it's going to come back and bite you pretty hard, so... No. This is one piece of the combo, nothing else. This is both pieces with fast mana, which is pretty nice. Happy to keep this. Probably bottoming the Boseiju. However... Yeah. Yeah, I think we're just going to try to go for it. Yeah, Rainbow Depths definitely sees some play. I haven't seen him make like a big top 8 recently, but I believe Wiltron made 32nd in the challenge recently, which is pretty sweet. Oh, Thoughtseize. I don't mind taking the turn to Thoughtseize here. Here we have like 3 mana plus the combo, which is 2 mana for the combo, 1 for crop, so I will still play Urborg this turn. Just Urborg my opponent. Thoughtseize my opponent, apologies. Luster. Okay. I actually don't mind paying for this. I'm also just going to fetch here for a basic forest. Because then we still have just the mana next turn with Daze back up. Okay. So here we just want to take the Daze? No, here we just want to take the Force, sorry. Because we can play around Daze thanks to the Pedal. And I want to crop away the Forest to turn off Submerge, of course. Steam Vents. I wonder if they just iteration now for Force. Yeah. Exile Brainstorm. That's actually pretty interesting. Because now I can just check to see. This is tough, so we could go for the combo and play around the Daze we know about. If they have Force, we can't really do anything anyway because we can't take Force with Inquisition and they have Murktide as well as a blue card. If I Inquisition and see Force, which is kind of why I'm Inquisitioning, I can't change that outcome anyway, so there's no point doing that. So I think here we just go for it. Doing it now so they can't untap and then brainstorm in response to try to dig further for a Force. I think what I could do is potentially not play the Lotus Petal out and just crop rotate with Depths in play, because maybe they might Daze just to take me off the extra mana, not knowing that we have the mana in hand. Oh. Interesting. Well, now I can Inquisition them. They Daze it. Look, if they drew into Brazen Burrower, they drew into Brazen Burrower. Tough. Tough. Definitely some considerations for game 2. Yeah, I don't think the daze there was a tell that they had something in hand. I think they dazed just because they thought it might slow me down a turn potentially by tapping me off enough mana to actually combo. But hey, Expressive Iteration, pretty good card. Alright, on the play, which is nice. We have depths. We actually have a way to find scrying straight away, which is really nice. So happy to keep this. Also having the Nautilus World is nice. We can go Urborg scrying for stage, and it goes to 6. Misty. Forest. Noble Hierarch. Okay. Yeah, I thought they might have found the Force, but obviously they didn't. Forest Noble. I feel like if they were Infect, they'd go for Trop. So I think here the play is just to go with naming Wasteland, because we have the Not of This World for Caracas. Nice, Maverick. It's always cool to see Maverick out and about. Knight. Okay. Thoughtseize. Ah, the red version. Cool. Three mana. No. Green Sun's for 2. I think I should respond to this because if they get Outland Liberator, then in response to us comboing off, they can use Noble to hit it. Scrib Ranger is a card to also consider, but I think we'll just make it here in response. It's very true. Don't play Turbo if you don't want to gamble. It's very true. This is pretty tough because if they do have Scrib Ranger, then we do have to find an out next turn, or else they can just block and then next turn crack us again. Sajiri Step. It's got to be Sajiri Step off something. Oh. Can at least Thoughtseize them. Mav is going to be hard. Sylvan Safekeeper, Dismember, Sudden Edict. Yeah, Maverick lines up pretty well. Fast Man is interesting. I'm not that concerned about going fast. So I could see like a split coming out. I kind of like the Lotus Petals because They can tap for black mana, or be sacked for black mana. I don't like them because of Thalia, Collector Oof potentially. I don't mind like a split, and then seeing if there's any situations where either come up. Bajuka Bog's still fine, Karakas, Ghost Quarter, Seiju. I don't mind going down on depths, but there are just those turns where it's just really fast, which is kind of nice. Surgical's pretty interesting, even being a swords deck. I don't mind Surgical. Needle's obviously very good. Reclaimer is interesting because they run so much hate for creatures that I could see Reclaimer coming out. It's tough though because it could also be fodder. Like if a Swords to Plowshares comes towards the Reclaimer, it's not too bad. But I definitely don't mind like going down on the combo a little bit. Even just 2 Dark Depths is probably okay. They have multiple ways to find it. Yeah. Could see like all this coming out, but like holding up crop rotation is kind of cool. No. No black mana for the Inquisition. Could go out and just like name Wasteland, not a Reliquary or something, but this is much better. Gonna bottom 1 Hex Mage. Turbo is not too bad. I think the hand disruption helps. Just being a fast combo deck as well is really nice. You're a bit faster than some of the other creature decks, like Elves is definitely slowed down. I think because I just lose to Wasteland, I have to just go for Bayou into Needle here instead of turn 1 Thoughtseize. There's also not too many 1-mana plays that I care about that I'm happy to untap and then potentially Thoughtseize away like a Knight. Which the Dryad Arbor definitely makes me feel like they're doing. Start with Thoughtseize. Swords, Night, Karakas. Okay. I guess we have Crop for Sajiri Step, so I could just take a Knight here. Sadly, I just have to play the Bajuka Bog to get mana for next turn. But yeah, this is going to be really tough. Hey, Amanaj. Sadly not. It is currently 12:45 PM for me, so I have a little bit of work to do before I go to bed. Okay, there goes a Knight off the... Ah, okay, Windswept Heath, yeah. Makes sense. Another Crop. Tough spot because I want to be able to Hexmage, probably turn the Bog into an Urborg. There's Karakas. Huh. Cool. Go and get Urborg. Okay. And then the hope here is that they swords the Hex Mage, we then crop for Ghost Quarter hitting Caracas, and then just go for Dark Depths. Yeah, so they swords here. In response, we crop away the Urborg because we have another one. That makes sense. Go and get Ghost Quarter. We Ghost Quarter the Caracas. They float a mana. We then sack and hit. And pray. Okay, another swords. It's pretty easy. Yikes. Look, sometimes it's tough. Double sword, Caracas, double knight. It's a bit of a puzzle that I just don't have the brain for right now. But hey, otherwise the deck is pretty sweet. Also, shout out to Mason Clark and Arnsey, who are running a tournament on Sunday morning for me, 2 AM. It'll be a... At least it was Mal, that's very true. It is a no supplement set legacy tournament, which is pretty cool. So, no Murktide, no Collector Oof, no Council's Judgment, no Prismatic Ending. It'll be pretty sweet, so definitely tune into that. I believe it's at 11 ET, Eastern Time, which is pretty sweet, so yeah, definitely check it out. Not too sure what I'll play yet. No supplement set. So the easy way to put it is no set that saw... Only sets that saw standard play. So even I believe like Portal 3 Kingdoms is out. So no Imperial Recruiter and no Personal Tutor. No. The mana's just off. Pretty happy to mull this. Like, we have to draw into a green source. I'd rather not let it up to the top of the deck. So close yet so far. No, there's a better 5. This is pretty close. Keep this, bottom 1. 2. Now we have our mana online, which is nice. Cool, burn? Vile goblins. Okay. That actually makes me pretty happy, because now I can just go for basics. I do like the choice in basic though. Hand disruption here would be kind of cool. Urborg's actually kind of nice. I don't want to give them black mana if they need it though. That's the tough part. But Urborg here means we're getting closer to just stage mana. It's worth it. Happy to, Whiskey. I'll look after this match. Likey. They must have a Lord? Munitions expert. Okay. That does it. Hey Granham, big thanks for the raid. Hope you're well. Okay. Attack. 2 cards left. Morg War Marshal, sure. We have some good draws here. Thoughtseize is pretty rough. I guess we can still stage here. Scrying. And take them off the other card in hand. The tough part here is that they do have port to tap down stage. So we can't actually Dark Depths most likely next turn. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think we actually might just be dead. Because if we take, I guess we don't take 1. Hmm. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got an 8. And next turn we can block 1, so we kind of just have to hope that they drew land. Ah, but don't draw Wasteland. Okay. Well, that's interesting, because that still turns on the ability for us to crop. Now it doesn't. Yeah, tough. Typically just faster. Take out the nuts, take out the bog, take out... Probably keep the Caracas for Muxus. I like the Dismembers, I like the Sudden Edicts. I don't know about the Collector Oofs. Pretty happy just to run back this with some interaction, but really just want to try to, yeah, 2020 them before they can 1-1 us with a... Lucky. I'm losing my voice. I don't think it is, but it could be a world where it's like it saves us from lethal. And the land drop is actually quite nice as well against a Wasteland deck. I don't want to drop to 24 lands. Oof's interesting if they're playing Vile. Yeah. Look, I don't mind like an Oof over Caracas. It does turn off our own pedals, but typically it's not too bad. wonder what they bring in. I'm not sure if they play Dead Gone. I assume they bring in Magus potentially, which can be a little bit of a blowout with Dismember. Yeah, sometimes, usually Wasteland Port is what they're relying on. What is this hand? Bayou, fetch. No, just a little bit off. No. Like it is both pieces, but it's so slow. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 go off without like any sort of interaction. There's a really good 4, and it's Urborg, Dark Depths, Hexmage, and then either Needle or Hand Disruption. This is pretty close to it. This is actually just a turn 1, which is pretty sweet, because we can keep this bottom 1 and 2, and just hope. They go to 5 as well. It's pretty cool. It's actually, that's actually hilarious. But they are playing through, so I feel like they're playing Karagas, which some decks do. But playing around Wasteland is where I want to be. Finally, yeah. I don't want to even see it. I don't want to see it. Ah! Ah! That's why you mulligan aggressively. Come on. Yeah, pretty happy to run this back. I actually don't. It has a lot of interaction, which is nice. Like if they go turn 1 Lackey, we have Dismember or Sudden Edict. I think there is just a better hand though, like one that's a little bit more. Yeah, this is great. We can keep this bottom the Ghost Quarter potentially. I kind of want maybe the Verdant for green, but we have access to turn 1 Lackey or whatever they have otherwise. I think we're just going to Urborg here because it turns on Hexmage off the top. I believe that if they cast the Lord... Okay, no Lord. Ah, I always screw this up. Dismember target this. Life, life, 1. Okay. Because we have 2 stages, I think here we just play 1 stage. And then Inquisition. Blood... Okay. Pretty happy to take that. Now they just have Mountain and Mana. Really well-timed Inquisition for sure. Pretty interesting. The other line, because they didn't have a Goblin, was play Prospector last turn and then use the mana and the 2 Goblins just to cast Blood Moon. Wow, Ringleader. Okay. Thankfully it won't matter. And I think we just want to make this now. Play around Wasteland off the top. So to get... so with the Blood Moon in play, if I play Dark Depths, the Dark Depths comes in as a mountain, so it comes in with no counters, but it doesn't register that it's a Dark Depths with no mountain, with no counters, it just sees itself as a mountain. But then if I do something like Spirit Guide, scrying into Boseiju, and then also have another green source for Boseiju blowing up the Blood Moon, then the Blood Moon effect obviously goes away. Dark Depths kind of like wakes up and sees itself with no counters on it, so then it triggers straight away. So that is a way to kind of get like a free win against Blood Moon. But it is pretty tough for us to draw into natural green, especially twice for scrying. Once for scrying and once for Boseiju. Look at this. Look at this. Like, this dude just got turn 1'd and then like just the naturals, and he's like, GG's friend, love your YouTube channel. Too kind. Too kind. Like, that is what MTGO chat is for. It's the only way to see it. Whiskey, Moxfield, Jund Depths. So you have the Green Suns to find Reclaimer, Safekeeper, Ramen Up Endurance. Cool. I think the really tough part about Jund versus Naya is Swords to Plowshares. Like, 1 mana removal. Like, you could play Bolt, potentially. Thoughtseize is quite nice. Yav. Mox. Minsk is pretty good. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I think it's a great... It's obviously like a bunch of really good cards, but it's so tough right now. Even to play like Green Black Turbo over Naya in like a competitive tournament, it's really tough to like... It's kind of like Eldrazi and Taxes, where it kind of feels, ooh, Yorion, okay. This is a turn 2 with... No, it's not with crop backup. Against the Yorion deck, I'm definitely thinking Swords to Plowshares, which is tough because it makes me want to play this a bit slower, which would be buy you into stage Petal and then stage again. So this is a turn 3 because we want to land a sack to the crop rotation that sticks around after the combo to be able to crop into Sajiri step. Because if it is like Death and Taxes, then Solitude's obviously the big card. I'm pretty happy to mulligan this once. Okay. We do have both pieces of the combo, but we don't have great mana, so pretty happy to mulligan this. Yeah. Okay. Like, this is tough as well. What are we at? Mulligan to 4 or keep? I guess we can just try to play for some, like, there's a good 4. Like, the big 3, as we said. Urborg, Dark Depths, Hex Mage. And then just, like, Hand Disruption on top would be sweet. Not of This World would be sweet. I think we're at that stage. We're going to 3. Alright. 1, 2. I kind of want to keep these. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we got a plan. Probably a little bit overthinking, but okay. Tough. They chose to shuffle straight away, which is kind of nice for us. Okay. It's actually quite nice. I think Teferi is probably the card I'm most scared of, other than Swords to Plowshares itself. I don't think it's worth cropping for Urborg just to cast the Thoughtseize either. Taiga. Okay, this must be 4 color? I guess they do have a Yorion deck, so that makes sense. Interesting. I think if they mince Kia, we crop for Caracas. Narset. What do I want to do here? Let me have a quick think. Because there is a world where we actually want to crop this into Urborg, which still allows us to go off thanks to Spirit Guide. But then we lose the Yav. I don't think that's worth it. Hmm. Why not? Oh, let's put them to 21. Let's put them to 1. Oh, so close. I assume that's a prismatic ending. Or Uro draw a card? Are they Uroing first? Hmm. Pretty good fight for 3 cards? Yeah, pretty good fight for 3 cards, let's be honest. Safekeepers are nice. I like the surgicals for Uro. I think here I'm just going to go down a little bit on the fast mana. Everything else kind of has its place. I don't think I need Dismember or Sudden Edict or Ley Lines. Force is interesting, but we do have Besaju in the deck, so I think that's more than enough. Yeah, I think these two are more than fine. Damn, so close. Yes, we will play first. Just the mana here's a little bit off. Again. Yeah. Ooh, my internet just dropped out. There we go. Alright. Opponent on 7. It chose to shuffle, which is good for us. Safekeeper's really nice. Righto! I don't know. Sometimes Safekeeper just gets there, let's be honest. Just the mana. Just the mana. Yeah, like turn 1 Hex, turn 1 Hex Mage, turn 1 Savekeeper. I don't mind this. I'm going to keep this in bottom of the Sajiri step, because it's obviously great in the deck. There is a world where I don't actually turn 1 Safekeeper, but it is very good. Now that's interesting. I actually don't mind it. Like, will I protect it? Like, what if we go past turn, untap, Urborg, play Hexmage, and then we have crop rotation with this open? So that's free. So I think I actually do just want to try to bait out even a removal spell. Oh, no white? Wow, library? Okay. Oh, Thoughtseize? That's interesting. I feel like we don't have the time for that. We just want to get Hexmage down. Attack for 1. Luckily they can't Terminus off this mana. So I think honestly here I'm just going to go for Spirit Guide Crop now. And just have the same sort of setup as last time. Like they could potentially Uru to 21 life, but then we have the Safekeeper to deal the extra 1, so it's pretty tough for them. I think being 4 color as well, they don't play. Wasteland, I was gonna say, that's a huge yikes. Really, 4 color? Come on now. Let's go with Swamp. Thoughtseize. Usually plays 2 Wasteland? Yikes. Did not know that. At least we have a clock. We have some good outs as well. But yeah, to be fair, like if Terminus is off the field, maybe we should just have gone for making the 2020. If I knew about the Wasteland, definitely. But that's just inexperience. Seven. Really want to see an Uro so we can play this bog and get some good value out of it. Nice. Might just go all the way. Oof. Doesn't help. Because you have to sack the Hexmage, of course. But it does mean I'm probably okay to sack the Dark Depths to one of these creatures. I feel like they might have a Terminus coming, but not much we can do there. But look at this plan B go. Pretty good. Alright, so they have Endurance open. Just gonna cast that now. Okay. Ooh, okay. That's pretty good. I assume we just do this now as well. Potentially end of draw step because Terminus, but then do we really care about losing the Dark Depths? Second hit. Wasteland, second hit. Oh, that doesn't work the way that I want it to work? Then I should have definitely played the second one. Apologies, I thought that was a little bit like Stifle. I thought it like checked before the Wasteland got up again. Tough. Wow, a 2-3 as well. Really poor. I think a lot of it came down to decisions there. Like, I should have obviously, if I knew that interaction, play the other Dark Depths after and not go for the double. Which is pretty tough. I thought it worked where Hexmage targeting Depths takes off the counters, the Wasteland then occurs, and then we can do it again, but pretty tough. Pretty tough. Yeah, overall thoughts on the deck weren't too bad. Obviously pretty tough in like a Swords to Plowshares meta. Like I could see potentially the Safekeepers in the main deck, but yeah. Like maybe even going up to the classic like 4 Thoughtseize, 2 Endurance, 2 Duress, and cutting back somewhere else. It's pretty tough to make cuts. Like I think Boseiju is just a really good addition to the deck that obviously cuts in. Like it's kind of Boseiju and the second Reclaimer that stops me from playing the 2 Duress, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, always a feel bad moment when you kind of go down to your own mistakes, and that was a pretty close one. Like we have some pretty nice outs there with Safekeeper and having the depths in play, but was not to be. I'm going to see who else is streaming and send you guys over there. A huge thank you to you guys for coming and watching. You want to find me on YouTube? You can find me here. You want to find me on Twitter? You can find me here. Ramar is streaming, which is very cool to see. So I'm going to send you guys over there. A huge thank you once again. Exactly. Always a learning experience. So a lot to take out of this. And even just little things like, I think sequencing was a big thing tonight that I could have worked on a little bit better. So pretty keen for that. But until then, enjoy, and I'll catch you next time.